Hey guys, it's Quickie Baby and welcome to a quick tank review, this time of the Tier 7 American light tank, the T-71, and boy have I been loving playing this tank. It's been one of the most action-packed tanks I've played in a long time, due to the autoloader and the rapid nature of this tank, as well as having a fairly good amount of gun depression. If you want a lightly armoured, high-impact tank that's able to navigate its way around the battlefield and enforce its will upon its opponents, then this is the right tank for you. Before we get into the gameplay, let's take a quick look at the stats. So this tank's got 840 hit points, which means that about 3 or 4 times out of 10, this will be 2 hit by 120 and 122mm guns, as well as the 105mm on the high-tier medium tanks. What this means is that you can have some bad RNG and you can even be 1 hit by ISUs, you can be 1 hit by T-30s if they roll high. 5 or 6 times out of 10 you'll also be 1 hit by a standard tier 10 TD shell, i.e. either T110 E4 or an E3 hits you, then more times out of 10 it's gonna 1 hit you. This tier 7 light tank can meet tier 10 tanks, so you're really gonna have to be very careful with your health pool. The tank is very light, 17 tons, so you really don't want to be rammed by anything. I've seen people get reverse ram killed in these tanks. It's got a fantastic engine, 400 brake horsepower on a 17-ton tank. That gives this tank a huge horsepower to ton ratio, which allows it to really get up slopes, to accelerate quickly, to get out of situations that it's got itself into. It really is very mobile, with a great speed limit of 64.4 kilometers an hour and a fantastic traverse speed of 56 degrees a second. Now the tank doesn't really have armor worth mentioning, 22mm all round on the turret armor, 25 on the front of the hull, 22 on the side and 19 on the rear. This MG port that you see on the top of the tank is rather annoying if you're trying to, so to say, stay hull down or at least give your enemies less opportunities to shoot you. You should know that they will be able to shoot your MG port and do massive amounts of damage to you, while you still think that you can't see the enemy. Now the gun on this tank is very interesting. It is a 6 shell autoloader, I will hasten to add. So, although you see that it's got quite low alpha damage of 150, it can fire 6 rounds in very rapid succession, which gives this tank 900 damage per drum. It's got very good penetration with its regular ammo of 175, and if you choose to load heat rounds in this tank, you will have 220mm of penetration, which is more than enough to go through anything that you will encounter, apart from some heavy tier 9 and 10 tanks. Its accuracy at range is okay, 0.39, with 2.3 seconds aim time, which is very nice. This tank fires 12 rounds a minute, which gives it an alright kind of DPM. Just under tier 7 medium tanks, such as the Comet for example. So what you've learnt so far is this tank is very mobile. It's also got excellent view range of 400 meters. Its turret traverse is great at 42 degrees a second. It's got basically no armor at all. If you're engaging one of these, HESH and HE ammo is highly recommended. If you're able to hit the flat surfaces at the back, or even just try and hit above the tracks and avoid hitting the tracks with your HE and HESH ammo, which will absorb most of the damage, you're really going to mess these things up. I loved this tank, it was a joy to play. I don't think I played it the best, but I was still able to get over 1,000 average experience per game with a 65% win ratio. I played this tank very much like a scout rather than an assassin, as you're going to see in my gameplay, but I was still able to take out 115 tanks out of the 84 games that I played. I was able to average 1,000, just under 1,300 damage a game, which is not fantastic. I'm pretty sure there are other T-71 players out there who will be able to pull off more damage than me. But I really think that my spotting damage that I did in this tank was above average. So without further ado, let's take a look at some gameplay. So let's take a look at some T-71 gameplay. We are playing on Redshire here. And if you guys see my map tactics, you should know what I am about to do in my scout tanks on this map. So in my loadout for my T-71, I take 3 clips of heat. I take those because that allows me to do up to 27,000 damage to very high tier tanks, and you can see me trying to get into position, avoid the tree, but oh no, I just hit the tree. So a better team might have been able to spot that I knocked that tree down there and try and counter battery me, but it seems like no one noticed, which is quite lucky. So now I'm just calling in fire. I've got 4 artillery on my team. I've spotted one of their VKs and 2 Pershings to the north. We can see the enemy have got 2 tier 9 tanks. So this is still a fairly good matchup for the T-71 with mostly tier 8s and tier 9s and no tier 10s. So I'm basically holding fire here. And you guys are going to get to see what I think scouting, static scouting should be like with the T-71. Just work in those bushes. So I can see that that Super Pershing platoon is going to the east. I'm still trying to call in fire on them. And now I've spotted their bad boy tank. There's the tier 9 heavy. I'm calling in fire and we can see that he's tracked. I'm still not going to unload on him though. I don't want to give away my position right now. I'm going to keep telling you what I'm thinking when I'm playing the T-71 and I'm scouting. I'm just constantly aiming at the opponents in case I maybe think that I have an opportunity to unload. And just calling in fire. I've rebound my keys. I'll show you here just in a second. Look, oh, yep. Okay, so here are my controls. As we can see, I have rebound requesting fire to T. And that's what I like. I like to press T on my targets to request fire in. So he can see this Lurve has gone behind the building, and I can still see that the Super Pershings are up north. And I'm just going to keep requesting fire. That's what I like to do. Trying to guide my artillery into what targets might be the most effective ones to take out. So I'm keeping an eye on what those Pershings are doing. I really don't want them to flank around. I've still got this Lurve and it's so tempting to unload on this guy. But I know right now it's just not the right thing to do. There's no need to unload on him. No one's under pressure. We're not losing the game. I'm in a fantastic location. The enemies don't seem to be any the wiser to it. And I'm basically spotting the whole of the enemy team. So I see that there's an AMX 1390 now doing a hero run to the west. When I was live streaming this, I was like, oh, come on, I don't want that 1390 to do a hero run now. I was really hoping that I was going to have an absolute monster scout game, and that I was going to get to spot all of the artillery in base. But it's very clear that the 1390 just spotted the T-54, the Su-8, and the 15550. So that AMX 1390 has just spotted 4 enemy tanks, which are ones that I won't be able to spot myself. But I'm still doing some good work along this ridgeline. Getting eyes on this T-34, the Lurve, and now also that I can see that the Super Pershings are going round to the northeast. I'm still thinking about unloading on this Lurve, but it would not be the right thing to do right now. So now the Super Pershings have made it round the corner. They used the distraction of the 1390 to be able to advance. That was the right thing to do. That was a good move by those Super Pershings. They would have known that our artillery were aiming into their base, and so they used that opportunity to advance their position. I wonder if this enemy Lurve actually knows that he's just been spotted for the whole game. Oh! He's not very well anymore. I'm taking a look to see what kind of tanks can still get shots onto him. And I've spotted the VK again. I call in fire on the VK. Oh, that was a big shot. And then now, here we go, Super Pershings. Both Super Pershings are still on 100% health, advancing. Now take a look at this. This is very interesting. Do you see how I can spot the Super Pershings through the trees, then when they get behind the tree, I'm no longer viewing them, so they disappear after 5 seconds. And then when they get out from behind the tree again, I can respot them. So that really shows you just how the trees and the camo work in World of Tanks. But I've got both those Pershings, Super Pershings, still spotted. And hopefully my artillery can start to do some good work. I'm amazed that the Super Pershings still haven't taken any hits until now, but there we can see 2 rather large hits on the Super Pershings. So now they're digging in on a rock, and that position would be very strong if they weren't spotted the whole time. I just don't think they understand what's going on really at the moment. I think they think that that tiger is spotting them, and they're just getting absolutely crippled. I'm just going to sit here. I haven't fired a shot. You've been watching 7.5 minutes of T-71 review with Quickie Baby, and I haven't fired a shot yet. Oh, and there's the Lorraine. Sneaky Lorraine. Nah, I decide. That's my move. I have to make it happen. I can't leave the artillery. So I execute that artillery, and the T-71 beast is unleashed. So you can see that the T-71 has a 6-round autoloader, each shell capable of doing 150 damage. I don't have 6th Sense yet on my tank. And it's obvious that we've been spotted. But another artillery executed, and there's still a full health T-54 below me. I like to reverse in this tank to allow myself to get away more quickly. Now we're going to see what kind of damage this thing can do from the side. 167. I decide to fire my shots blind. And he's still there, and he's still getting crippled. 183, these are quite nice rolls. 116 roll that time. And 141. We did 600 damage that we could see there to the T-54. Now it's time to reload and try and get in for the rest of the enemy team. Full health Tiger, and a GW Panther. Shazam, there's my 3rd artillery kill. And a big hit there by the artillery onto the Hummel. Now let's do some post-game analysis. So here are the post-game stats. We were able to get 80,000 credits and over 5,000 experience for our double. That's a 2,500 game non-double with premium. We were able to do something to 14 out of 15 of the enemy tanks. We were able to take out that GW Panther, and we were able to take out that Lorraine as well, with that cheeky first shot that we fired in the game. And we stayed hidden until 7.5 minutes into the game, getting our Counter Scumbag medal, the Perscusis, the Patrol Duty, and the Sniper medal as we hit every shot that we fired. Now, here is the interesting business. We were able to do 9,600 spotting damage. As you can see here, as an example, we were able to do all of that Super Pershing's health in spotting damage, 1,450, and 1,250 of those 2 Super Pershings. Let's take a look at the VK. 1,200 on the VK. That Lurve below us, 1,300. The regular Pershing, 800. Oh my word. We were able to get off some serious spotting from that bush there. And why not check out my Map Tactics with the Quickie Baby series if you want to see more bushes that are capable of producing these kind of results. So that really shows you just the value of getting spotting damage to get high experience games. We were only able to do 1,300 damage in that game. But because of the immense amount of spotting, we had over double what the next guy on our team achieved, which were the artillery. As you can see, I only spent 3,000 credits on ammunition that game, 1,600 on repairing my tank, giving me a profit of 75,000. It really pays to scout. So to quickly sum up, the T-71 is an absolutely amazing passive scout and also an active scout depending on whether you want to use binoculars or optics, and it also has the firepower, the maneuverability to be able to engage any tank it wants really, with the caveat in mind that it doesn't have a very high health pool, and if it takes multiple hits then it's going to get taken out very quickly. The maneuverability of this tank really allows it to relocate very quickly. Take a look at some of the excellent replays submitted for my first replay competition if you want to see more examples of fantastic T-71 play. So guys, I hope this review has been helpful to you. If you've enjoyed this, then think about rating it down below, and why not leave me a comment and tell me what you think about the T-71. As always guys, you've been epic, thanks a lot for watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon.